Welcome viewers, Dr. JWAU, Pro-Theologist exclusive channel. Who do you think's gonna retrieve Australia? Do you think they're actually going to turn this around? Do you think they're capable of it? It's been successive governments that have brought it to its knees. Now, the morally bankrupt politicians will tell you that they can save it, that they can fix it, that that one's not doing as good as what we can do, this one's doing that. Politicians are the only ones that throw their own under the bus. You know that, don't you? And because they throw their own under the bus, it doesn't matter who else goes under the bus either. They've got no concept of the dark reality of the Islamic ideology. They only want to see one side of it, the peaceful side. Well, unfortunately, there's an evil side as well. But who do you think's going to retrieve Australia? Who do you think Pauline Hanson can turn this around? She's got the right idea, I suppose, to a point, but she's not even Hanson could turn this mess around. It's gone too far. You know, when the Whitlam government was sacked, it was sacked on the premise of a moral, economical bankruptcy, right? We've got to get rid of you. If you can sit there and say this government is not morally bankrupt, and the politicians across the board at the moment are not morally bankrupt, then if they come knocking on my door saying, well, what do you think you're saying? I'll just go. I'll go with them, because the filth and the immorality against the Christian Constitution of Australia is so far gone, it's irrecognisable. People don't even know what Australia represents anymore. No clue. I can remember when, I think we've reached our peak where we used to win all the sport and we were, really developing as a country. I think we're in decline now. I think the place is irretrievable. Now it sounds pessimistic, but looking at it from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s to where it is now, it's gone so far downhill and become such a hard place to live in financially. It's psychologically crippling people. They're not putting out the proper correct statistics of how hard it really has become for the middle to lower class Australian. And we're watching these politicians. It's like watching a theatre that has no self-awareness. It's like they're playing in a theatre and they think there's no audience, and that the audience is incapable of interpreting what they're doing on a moral level and what they're not doing and all the stuff that they do to us. When young Australians stop believing in the future, they stop believing that the future belonged to them. And why would they? Why would they believe that there's a future for them in Australia? Some of our younger ones that are close to my family, one broke through, one busted through just in time, but the others don't look like they're ever really going to have a future relative to owning land or things like that. Haven't you ever spoken with a young Australian and realised they expect less from the future than their parents did at the same age? Not because they lack ambition, not because they refuse to work, like many of these young people are working themselves into the ground, but because the destination keeps moving further away. It's becoming harder and harder to attain. They study longer than previous generations. They carry larger education debts. They compete for housing that becomes less affordable each year. Full-time employment no longer guarantees independence. And moving out often means returning home after rent consumes most of their income. Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? They continue trying, but for the most part, many give up. Another qualification, another application, another interview, another year waiting in long lines, waiting for life to begin. I mean, a lot of these young people are asking, when does life begin and what does it mean once it has begun? Is it just a journey of trying to accumulate money enough to be able to pay rent and bills? And I mean, a lot of these people are going to work not to attain things, but just to be able to live, try and live an independent life. Somebody comment, put something in the comments. The traditional Australian pathway once felt predictable. Education led to work, work created stability, stability made home ownership possible, and families followed naturally. Is that right? Because that's all changed now. Now the sequence has become uncertain. The majority postpone relationships because they can't afford permanence. Others delay children because they cannot secure housing. Some quietly conclude they may never experience the milestones that us older people considered ordinary. And the greatest loss is not simply those opportunities, it's the psychological impact on their minds. It's the loss of expectation. A generation begins lowering its hopes before life has properly begun. They stop asking how far they can build and begin asking what they can realistically keep that won't be taken away from them. When confidence disappears, aspiration slowly follows. And Australia became irretrievable when its young people inherited uncertainty instead of possibility and began believing that tomorrow will offer less than today and yesterday. And viewers, eventually the future stops feeling like an invitation and it becomes something to endure rather than to build. And that is not what Australia was. And that is just not fair on the next generation.